There is so much to do in the Pikes Peak region, so planning a trip here can be overwhelming. Picking between a thrilling day on the river and a relaxing day of sightseeing seems like an impossible decision. Luckily for you, you don't have to choose. We've planned your vacation for you and packed 30 different attractions into this ultimate 10-day itinerary so you can get a taste of every corner of the Pikes Peak region. Also, out of all the things to see and do in this video, let us know in the comments down below which you'd be the most excited to do. For day 1, we're taking it easy in Manitou Springs. Now we know you came here to see Pikes Peak, but don't get ahead of yourself. We always recommend spending at least a few days acclimating to our elevation before you make your way to the summit. Altitude sickness is no joke, and we want you to enjoy your experience to the fullest. Besides, there's plenty to do below 14,000 feet, and we promise the views of that radiant crown jewel are almost as good as the views from the top. Start your first morning in the region by exploring over 800-year-old cliff dwellings. Originally discovered in the Mesa Verde area, the Manitou cliff dwellings were relocated to Manitou Springs at the turn of the 20th century with the intention to protect and preserve them for future generations. Because of this, the dwellings aren't a historical site, but that means you can get way closer and explore all the ins and outs of this archaeological replica. Right next door, the Cave of the Winds is one of the highest cave systems in the nation. Start off with an underground tour where you will discover stalagmites, stalactites, and all sorts of cool geological formations. Once you're back on the surface, you can chill out at Canyon Rim Grill with a snack or score a cool souvenir from the gift shop. If you're feeling adventurous, the park offers everything from zip lines to a high ropes course suspended over Williams Canyon. After an exciting morning in the hills above Manitou Springs, it's time to head into town for a spot of tea. Miramont Castle serves the fanciest and most unique meals you'll find anywhere in the Pikes Peak region. Once you've replenished your energy, take a stroll through the museum to learn all about this architectural marvel and experience life as it would have been in the Victorian era. When you've finished exploring the castle, head down the hill for a relaxing evening in Manitou Springs. Find all 8 mineral springs scattered around town, or play some games at the Penny Arcade. This is also a great place to grab a bite to eat, with tons of options for whatever you might be craving, including any dietary restrictions you might have. If you have food allergies or are following a special diet, we recommend Adams Mountain Cafe, great for vegans and carnivores alike. Manitou is also a great place to set up your vacation base camp. Whether that means a literal camp or the most bougie hotel room money can buy, Manitou has great options for both. We are particularly enamored with the elegance of the Cliff House and the hometown feel of Villa Motel, and both will make you feel like family. On day 2, you'll explore the world-famous Seven Falls. Now, you could enter the park the normal way and walk through what has been coined the grandest mile of scenery in Colorado, but we have something a little more exciting in store for you. Broadmoor Outfitters is the quintessential Colorado adventure outfitter, offering everything from mountain biking to rock climbing and even some one-of-a-kind experiences like falconry and archery. For the sake of time, we've picked out one of their most popular excursions to start your day off: zip lines over 7 falls. The falls and their surrounding canyons are beautiful from every angle, but there's something extra special about soaring over them at 45 miles per hour. Hopefully your zipline tour will give you a good taste of Colorado adventure, but you might just have to come back and check out what else they have to offer. Once your feet finally reach the ground, it'll be time to explore Seven Falls from a new angle. If you're feeling ambitious and aren't completely out of breath from your ziplining adventure, tackle the 224 steps to the top of the falls. There's also a more accessible elevator that zips you to the perfect photo op high on the canyon wall opposite the falls. If time allows, grab some Colorado cuisine at Restaurant 1858 right at the base. Afterwards, strolling through Old Colorado City is a local favorite and a great way to wrap up your day. Whether you're looking for some unique retail therapy, a delicious meal, a cup of joe, or an artisanal cocktail, Old Colorado City has got you covered. On day 3, start your morning off heading to Cripple Creek, one of the most beautiful drives in the Pikes Peak region. Once you reach this little mountain town on the western slopes of Pikes Peak, you will be met with more breathtaking scenery, cute shops, interesting museums, and best of all, free-range donkeys. One of the highlights of this little mining town is the Cripple Creek and Victor Narrow Gauge Railroad. Winding through the hills between Cripple Creek and the neighboring town of Victor, the train trip is 45 minutes of beautiful scenery, interesting history, and loads of fun. Seats are first come, first serve, so we recommend popping in to check out wait times before heading into town. If you do have to wait for the next train, you'll have an opportunity to scope out the town and track down those wandering burros. You can't go to Cripple Creek without checking out the main activity that made up 90% of the town's history. The tour through Molly Kathleen Gold Mine brings you 1,000 feet underground with live demonstrations of the history of mining technology. The tour guides are mostly former miners themselves, with lots of colorful but kid-friendly stories of their own to share. Rise and shine! On day 4, you'll need to get up bright and early for a long day in Canyon City. If the drive doesn't wake you up, a splash in the Arkansas River certainly will. Echo Canyon River Expeditions has 3 different options for rafting tours, so you'll be able to curate your experience to fit your comfort and experience level. When you're deep in the canyon, look up and you might just catch a glimpse of your next destination, the Royal Gorge Bridge. You started your day at the mercy of the river. Now you can take things at your own pace. Walk across the Royal Gorge Bridge or relax and let the gondola carry you to the far rim. If you still have some energy to spare, you can zip line to the other side or swing 1,200 feet over the gorge on the Sky Coaster. Like Cripple Creek, Canyon City is only about an hour drive south of Colorado Springs, so you can easily make it a day trip if you prefer to keep your stuff in one place. If you don't feel like driving back after a long day of adventuring, we recommend staying at the Royal Gorge Cabins. And now, on day 5, for the moment you've all been waiting for, it's time to head up Pikes Peak. And before we get into it, if you've been enjoying this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more tips on visiting Colorado Springs in the Pikes Peak region, and leave a comment with any questions you have or places you'd like us to cover in a future video. Your support means the world to us and allows us to keep making these travel tip videos. There are a ton of different ways to summit Pikes Peak, but you probably don't want to go up the mountain more than once. In order to make your decision a little easier, we've put together pros and cons lists for each option so you can decide based on what is important to you. The Pikes Peak Highway is best for more experienced mountain drivers who want to be in charge of their own schedule. The Pikes Peak Highway is only $10 to $15 per person depending on the time of year and has several pull-offs, gift shops, and hiking trails along the way. Keep in mind, you might have to reserve a parking spot at the top if you go during the summer. The Cog Railway gives you a more secluded view of Pikes Peak than you would get driving up the highway. The tickets are a bit pricier, especially if you want to sit with your group, but the experience more than makes up for it. If heights and twisty mountain roads make you nervous, this is the best option for you. Challenge Unlimited is for all the thrill seekers and adrenaline junkies. You'll start with a tour of the Pikes Peak Highway in an open-air Jeep. Once you've had your fill of high-altitude views and world-famous donuts, Challenge Unlimited will set you up with a bike so you can begin your descent. The tour is ages 12 plus and you must be able to ride a bike. If you like the sound of that open-air Jeep without all the excitement of riding a bike down a 14,000-foot mountain, Adventures Out West also offers Jeep tours on Pikes Peak. You can even combine that with one of their other tours of the area, so you can get a more in-depth look at our geography and have all your questions answered by your friendly cowboy tour guide. This next tour is for the laid-back chill chasers. Pikes Peak Tour by Greyline takes out all the stressful factors of summiting Pikes Peak and lets you relax in your comfy seat while someone else does the driving. The bus makes a couple stops along the way if you want to stretch your legs or snap some photos, and they are much more lenient with time than the Cog Railway. Their bus drivers are all professional tour guides who will share stories and history along the way. You've now made it to the top of our beautiful namesake, but the fun is just beginning. On day 6, start your morning by exploring the region's second most famous landmark, the Garden of the Gods. This free park boasts insane rock formations with tons of different roads, trails, and tours to explore it. If you want to explore it on your own, check out our ultimate guide to the Garden of the Gods in the description below. For this itinerary though, we're going to let the professionals take the lead. And by professionals, we mean the four-legged Garden of the Gods experts at Academy Riding Stables. These gentle beasts lead horseback tours through the garden daily, so you won't find anyone more knowledgeable on the park's trails and topography. On your tour with Academy Riding Stables, you will be immersed in unique geological formations and stunning views. It's a wonderfully chill way to spend your morning. After clip-clopping your way around the park, pop next door to check out the Garden of the Gods trading post. The trading post is way bigger than you would expect from the outside. They have just about every Colorado-themed souvenir you could think of, and even more cool art in the back. If you skipped breakfast, grab brunch at the Balanced Rock Cafe. And of course, don't forget to try some of their homemade fudge on your way out. You might just have to bring a box or two home with you. Adventures Out West is another one of those places that has a tour for every adventurer. You may have already taken one of their Jeep tours if you chose the Challenge Unlimited option for your Pikes Peak day. But today, your tour will be a little more hands-on. Spend 30 minutes learning the ropes of Segway riding, and then you can live out your Paul Blart dreams in Garden of the Gods. On day 7, unleash your inner child at Santa's Workshop. If you decided to take the highway to the summit of Pikes Peak, you might have caught a glimpse of this next hidden gem. The North Pole is a charming, Christmas-themed amusement park tucked away in the trees at the base of Pikes Peak. Built in 1956, the North Pole is not only an exciting park for kids, but a nostalgia-packed time capsule of vintage rides and good childhood vibes. After a long day of play, head back into Manitou Springs for dinner and a show. The Iron Springs Chateau hosts all kinds of fun, interactive melodramas throughout the year. Enjoy a delicious meal, grab a snack at the concession stand, then take a seat in the historic theater to catch the show. Participation is encouraged, so cheer for the hero, boo the villain, and sing along to your heart's content. On day 8, discover creatures of all shapes and sizes at one of the top-ranked zoos in the country. The Cheyenne Mountain Zoo is a local favorite and was ranked the 3rd best zoo in North America by USA Today. The zoo showcases animals of the Rocky Mountain region in addition to everyone's favorites from around the world. Feed the giraffes, howl with the wolves, and even see some endangered species up close. Next, the Maine Natural History Museum showcases animals of a creepier and crawlier classification. This quirky museum is the result of 80 years of world travel and dedicated insect collection by its founder, James May. From outside, you would never expect this little cinder block building to hold such an impressive collection of over 7,000 butterflies, beetles, spiders, and other cool bugs. Because this collection is so old, a few of their species are now extinct or the only of their kind to ever be found. Now that your vacation is almost over, it's time to wind down and check out a few local museums. Ever dream of visiting the moon or driving a rover on Mars? Now you can. Kind of. The Space Foundation Discovery Center is an interactive museum and science center where you'll find an array of historical artifacts from our time as space travelers, like spacesuits, satellites, and rocket boosters. You can also try your hand at driving a mini rover in a Mars simulation, or enjoy a virtual simulation of all known planets and moons on the Science on a Sphere. Located in the outskirts of downtown Colorado Springs, the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Museum showcases tons of artifacts from past Olympics and Paralympics. There's also a bunch of interactive games, so you can test your skills at all your favorite Olympic sports. You might even be lucky enough to meet one of your favorite athletes, since so many of them work and train in Colorado Springs. Leave your car in the museum parking lot and ride an e-bike or a scooter into the heart of downtown. With tons of different restaurants, bars, and cafes, downtown is a great place to grab a bite to eat at the end of the day. Pop into art galleries, clothing, and souvenir shops to find something special to take home with you. Along the way, you'll find all kinds of unique sculptures and murals around every corner. Colorado got its start during the gold rush, so it's no wonder so many of our local museums have a focus on that Wild West heritage. Start off your last morning at the Pikes Peak Region at the Ghost Town Museum. The Ghost Town Museum is filled with real buildings and artifacts from actual Old West ghost towns from the late 1800s. Try your hand at churning butter, operate a printing press, and in the summer months, even pan for gold. Because of our Wild West heritage, the rodeo is kind of a big deal here in the Pikes Peak region. As the only heritage center in the world devoted to professional rodeo, the Pro Rodeo Hall of Fame is a standout. Take a look at some of the outfits and equipment used in the past and learn all about the evolution of this very American sport. And don't forget to pay a visit to the animals out back if you come in the summer. Mining is another super influential part of Southern Colorado history. The Western Museum of Mining and Industry is full of all kinds of old machines and mining equipment from the 1800s. The best part is, they still work. You can catch demonstrations of the different machines throughout the day, and during the summer, you can even see them run the big ones outside. The Flying W Ranch is the perfect, most classically Colorado spot to wrap up your vacation. First, you'll grab yourself an authentic cowboy meal, complete with a tin cup, then sit down and enjoy the show. The Flying W Wranglers are an award-winning musical group and the second oldest Western band in the world. Their lively tunes will have you two-stepping all the way home. And that's it for our 10-day itinerary. Thank you so much for watching. This style of video is new for us, so share your thoughts in the comments below and let us know if you'd like to see more itineraries in the future. If you want to save this itinerary, you can see it all laid out on one page on our website, linked down below.